Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in today's top stories, we have a very interesting, if not controversial story. I'm going to do my best not to be too overly dramatic, sensational, and sarcastic. Much of it will be tongue-in-cheek, but I find it fascinating. From CNN, customers had soured on self-checkout, and a new study says there's proof. Well, here's my proof. People in America like being served. We like service. We like people doing things for us. We enjoy the fact that people will do things for us. Now, maybe that's a bit cynical. Maybe that's a bit hyperbolic. And I'll kind of explain why this particular situation isn't as significant or impacting on me, because I go to a full-service grocery store, not so much for the entirety of the full-service experience, but the fact that I know the store, I like it, I know where things are, I go in there, get what I need, and I get out. Now, I don't usually buy a lot of stuff at any one time, so a self-checkout isn't particularly concerning to me. But I can understand that people who maybe they get off work, they go get their groceries, they don't want to have to go there, pick out their groceries, and then have to scan it out as though they were doing a job as a grocer. I totally get it. So let's read on. From theft to scanning errors, retailers are running into headaches with self-checkout after rolling out the technology aggressively over the last decade. Now, researchers find another problem with self-checkout, fading customer loyalty. A newly released study by researchers at Drexel University, published in the Journal of Business Research, found that regular checkout, the kind featuring a human cashier, makes customers more loyal to a store and more likely to revisit in the future than self-checkout. The study comes as some companies remove self-checkout machines and others adjust their self-checkout operations. Now, I'll make the argument again. I think just Americans in general, they like being served. And that's that, and of course, if you're working, you get off work, you go to the store, you don't want to have to go and do a job while you've purchased your groceries, right? Especially if you've got like a large cart. That would be a lot of work to self-checkout. But I've seen people do it. I'm going to assume that the people that like to sort their groceries, the colds and the fruits and vegetables and the cereals and the whatever you buy in your own OCD style system of buying groceries, I would think those individuals would probably be more into the self-checkout mode than, say, just, people in general. You guys have to let me know down in the comment. Are you a self-checkout or anti-self-checkout? And what about your grocery buying manners? Do you like sort your groceries and put them on the cashier rotating belt there and hope that the cashier sorts it correctly and the bagger sorts them correctly? Or do you prefer to bag? You guys have to let me know what your shopping experience is. But I just find it fascinating because if you guys didn't know, I have a background in computer science. I've had the great privilege to work in both the PC world as well as in the Mac world as an Apple specialist, but also had the good pleasure of working for NCR, National Cash Registers. Now, many of you maybe have never even heard of NCR, but I can guarantee you that right now, at this very moment, and today, and tomorrow, or next week, or in the past, you have probably interacted with an NCR product because they are a point-of-sale company who makes all sorts of points of sales, scanners, readers, ATMs, computers, all sorts of technology when it comes to point of sale. And I worked for NCR for several years. A friend of mine worked there for over 32 years. And he specifically, my good friend, worked on, self-checkout when self-checkout became a thing. He also worked on the little ticket machines there at the airports when you go do your flights and stuff. He worked on those as well. I mostly worked on the point of sale registers, for example, like pharmacies, grocery stores, movie theaters. Also worked on some of the MCR readers for Disney on their cruise ships. And we also worked on the ATMs for the government, the federal government. The ATMs that the soldiers used in the Middle East. I can remember having to take those back to the blowout room and blow all that dust out from the Middle East from the machines so we could repair them. But NCR, the little magnetic strip on the back of your debit card or credit card, that's made by NCR. So probably today, as you were going about your day, or right now in your wallet or purse, you probably have an NCR product and probably never even knew it. But while I was doing this, I came across this story about this guy. Company slammed for subpar retirement party for a 42-year employee whose coworkers saved the day. Now, man, I have nothing but respect and admiration for a guy who's worked somewhere for 42 years, his level of dedication to be there, rain, shine, weather, whatever, even at his old age, even with his disability as he's aged, he was always at work. And apparently his colleagues came through for him, and here he is working at his company. I guess he makes boxes or sort. He works for a warehouse of some sort. Hard to say. I looked at the article. It didn't really say what he did there. And but you know, nothing but respect for someone like this. And you know, I guess they're doing a GoFundMe for him as well. As as I just mentioned, a friend of mine too that worked at NCR. He was in there 32 years, and then what they ended up doing is where we worked, they ended up moving it to Tennessee, and so we were all laid off. But NCR is still going. They're a worldwide corporation. But I just find it fascinating, just the mindset of people when it comes to self-checkouts and just the general ebbs and flows of our daily lives, because I would think that the most impacting thing right now in our lives is the current administration that we're living under. I can't think of a time where it's ever been this bad. I mean, I lived through the Carter administration, and as Donald Trump said last night, I mean, Joe Biden makes Jimmy Carter look like he was a success, and people did not like Jimmy Carter at all. Some of you guys may remember the long lines at gas stations during the Carter administration. I was too young to vote for Carter. I wasn't able to vote for president until Reagan came around. But it's amazing to me to see the things that people concentrate and focus on, what irritates and annoys them when it comes to self-checkout or their Netflix or not getting their vacation time and these sorts of things. Yet we're living in an administration right now. I have people even on today on Twitter trying to tell me how things are actually going well under Biden. It's absolutely a divorce from reality for these people to try to tell me that things are going well under Joe Biden. It's absolutely, and then of course I respond to them with evidence and facts and links and stories and these sorts of things. And their reaction is usually they just stop talking, because there's no way you're convincing me currently with the prices of groceries, gas, bills, expenses, all these things, that things have gotten better. Absolutely not. Not to mention the wars that are going on, the international problems that we're facing, and then just the idea here as we're watching the caucuses vote the way they're voting, just absolutely amazing. And the idea that Nikki Haley thinks that she's going to stay in unless she's being backed by the establishment or the Democrats, the GOP is not going to back her. Why would they waste their money on a losing horse? I mean, it just isn't happening. So these are the things that I think people would be concerned about. But hey, far be it from me. Apparently, self-checkout is a big deal. The prices of Netflix and those sorts of things, and whatever else people seem to be concerned about, you know, this is where we're different, I guess. But you guys have to let me know down in the comments. Do you have a particular sorting system when you buy your groceries? Do you have an issue with self-checkout, or do you like them? Do you want to use self-checkout? You guys have to let me know down in the comments. But nonetheless, guys, thank you for your continued support on New Tech as well as here on YouTube. And appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon. You guys can click on to subscribe, as well as to select notifications if you guys want to know there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.